Okay, third subtopic, probability. Suppose we have a coin where one side is heads and the other is tail. If we flip the coin over and over and over again, we expect that about half of the time we get heads or half of the time we get tails. We express this mathematically by saying that the probability that a coin flip will turn up heads is 1/2, 50%. This is what we mean by probability of an outcome. It is the fraction of times that we expect an outcome to occur if we perform the experiment over and over. Notice that we cannot say that the exact fraction of times we have success. This is the difficulty in defining probability. Probability only exists because we are trying to measure an event that's not definite. If the outcome, you can see this equation. This is how you calculate the probability. Number of successful outcomes divided by the total number of trials. Let's look at some examples to understand this a little bit more. The faces of a fair six-sided dice are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fair means that each side is equally likely to be rolled. What is the probability then when a dice is rolled? A 2 is facing up. Okay, we have 6 possible options, right? That side will turn up, either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. They are equally likely. So if I roll it, total possibility is 6, right? Because I have 6 sides. Each side can show up once. So the total probability is 1/6. So that fits this equation. The number of successful outcomes divided by the total number of trials or possibilities. Another example, what is the greatest possible probability for any event? What is the least possible probability for any event? So from this equation, we know that successful outcomes over the total possibilities. The successful outcomes simply cannot outnumber the possible outcomes. For best, it can equal to the total possible outcomes, right? So if the successful outcomes equals the total possible outcomes, then this number is 1. But there is also, this is the best case scenario. If the successful outcomes, there's none, and then the top would be 0. And the possible outcomes on the bottom, which is the total, which is not 0, then you would get 0. Okay, so the best case scenario that you get is a probability of 1, and the least possible probability is actually a 0. Remember, successful outcomes over total possible is less or equal to 1 and greater or equal to 0. Okay, successful outcomes is a part of the total. It just cannot outnumber the total. So the max would be 1. And on the other hand, the successful outcomes can be 0. There's none successful, which give you the smallest number of 0. So probability, smaller or equal to 1, bigger and greater than 0.